Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 14 of my Southampton series for FM16. This is, of course, the preseason episode for season 4 with Southampton here. And yeah, things have gone quite well this preseason. We haven't really sold any big name players. We did sell one important player, but his performances at the club haven't been up to standard at all. And we really didn't get too much for him either. So yeah, I'm not too sure how you guys are going to take that transfer. We'll get into it now. We'll get into all the transfer activity, and there has been a lot. And I'm still going currently. At the moment, I'm trying to sign this man, who some of you will be familiar with from last year's version of the game, Rikario Zivkovic, of course, an Ajax player. I did have him in my team for my Dutch Players Only Ajax series that I did last year. Oh, sorry, on last year's game. And he was absolutely, amazing for that one season that I did before I got the sack. Spoilers, of course, if you haven't watched it. But as you can see, he looks very, very nice. And I've got a 20 mil bid in at the moment, and it, probably will go a little bit higher. As you can see, Schalke have put in a 21.5 mil transfer as well. And we are also in the process of signing this 18-year-old Dutch regen. Looks very good for a centre-back, and he's only 18 years old. A little bit pricey. I could only manage to get a 10 million pound offer accepted for him. So, yeah, that one's a bit of a gamble. It's quite a steep fee, and I guess we'll have to wait and see in future seasons how he will turn out if we do actually sign him. So the outs, first of all, Jordi Clasie was let go to Marseille for 3.7 mil. Clasie's been here from the start. Never really cemented himself as the first team central midfielder. So I think it was, well timed for him to move on. We have replaced him. We've got better centre mid prospects in our under 21s, and yeah, we actually brought a very good player in as well as another decent prospect for the future. So yeah, he was let go of, not too big, not a great transfer fee for him either, but I wasn't really fussed about that. We then had to let Dusan Tadic go because we couldn't actually re-sign his contract because he continuously would fail the work permit. I'm not too sure what happens with that because I think it might have been a bit of a bug with the game. I'm not too sure. It was a bit disappointing because I couldn't re-sign him on a new deal even without the work permit. So I couldn't keep him at the club and then loan him out to Barrow, my work permit feeder club. So yeah, I think there's a bit of an issue with that, and I think that might be something Sports Interactive need to have a little look into. The next few players were all just youth players that have been here from the start of the series, and their contracts finally ran out. Josh Sims was at the club. I think his contract ran out as well, and Dundee United snapped him up just before that actually ran out. Of course, we had to loan Wellington Silva back out to Barrow for the season, hoping we can get him a work permit. But as you can see, his stats are decreasing massively, and that's really quite annoying. You pay 4.7 mil for a player, and you don't even get to use him. And a player of that quality, I mean, his stats before they all decreased were actually quite decent, and he really could have caused some damage for us on that left wing there. So really disappointed with that. Hopefully we can finally get him his work permit in January, and we'll see where we go from there. We then sold Sam Gallagher to Sheffield United for 1.8 mil. Was never really going to develop into anything special, and yeah, we just wanted to get him out of the under 21 team because we have got a few youth strikers in there, I suppose, that will develop better with the game time that he might be getting in that team. So yeah, he was sold. We also sold Jack Stevens to Queen's Park Rangers for 1.6 mil. Sorry. And yeah, he's sort of in the same boat, not really good enough. And I think it was this time, instead of loaning him out every season, we may as well just cash in on him. Their contracts are both running out at the end of the season, this coming end of the season. So yeah, we cashed in. Just over 3 mil for both of them is pretty decent. We then sold Geronimo Rulli to Valencia for 8.5 mil, but I think the potential will go up to 10 mil. Plus, I think we got a 20% of next fee on him as well. You guys know I like doing that and getting that on my certain transfers that I do, or the players that I sell. But if you go have a look at his history, his playing history in the Premier League for us, he has been very underwhelming. First season at the club, 32 games he played, and he conceded 57 goals. That's just unacceptable. The next season only played 16. Romero played a lot better than him, and he still conceded 28 goals in 16 starts. Or 16, yeah, 16 starts. So that's just not good enough for the Premier League. And yeah, we got him on a free transfer as well, don't forget, so that's pure profit. And I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. And we brought in a player that's pretty much the same quality as him. And the player we brought in, that I'll go over in a second, has actually performed better at different clubs in high levels of, high first team level teams. High first division level teams is what I'm looking for there. We also sold Gaston Ramirez, never really played under me too much. Maybe in the first season when we played in AMC, he kind of featured a lot more, but he was injured as well in that first season. Sold him to Udinese for 2.5 mil. Happy to see the back of him. He would only ever play an inside forward on the right wing, and we recently got Turbe a work permit, so yeah, we don't really need 3 right wingers at the club. Carl Clinton, another youth player, was released there after his contract also run out. And Ryan Seager was loaned out to Aberdeen for the season. Not a horrible player, but nothing too special either at the same time. Okay, so the players in. We first signed Bernard from Chelsea for 14 million. He was transfer listed. He's a left winger, plays an inside forward perfectly, and he is a definite, a quality player that should become, hopefully will immense himself in our first team on that left wing. He can also play up front as well, which is, probably won't ever play him there, but nice to see. He is on 80,000 a week, which is very steep, but he is worth just under 20 million, so we might be able to sell him on for a profit, hopefully in the future, if things don't work out. The next player we signed was Alex Eckhart. Yeah, I think it's Eckhart. He is a left-wing striker. Again, another inside forward. He is only 18 years old, and he is English. We signed him for 10 million from Blackburn. Decent little prospect. I mean, there's nothing too special about him. He could become a very good inside forward, maybe even a striker. We'll have to wait and see how he develops. But I do like getting my English players in, and yeah, he fits that bill quite nicely. Sepe Devos was brought in from Club Bruges for 2.7 mil there. Just a little, under 18s prospect, 17 years old, central midfielder. Looks quite nice. Got this, got the right stats in the right places, and he might be able to develop quite nicely in our youth teams. We then signed Cenk Vural, another youth player, a Turkish striker, 18 years old. Got him on a free transfer. Actually got a work permit as well, which is quite unusual. But anyway, hasn't really played any internationals for Turkey or anything like that. Very good pace on him, good finishing. Nothing much else apart from those. We'll see how he develops. Actually a better winger than he is a striker, which is very weird because he's not even a natural right winger there. But we'll see how he goes. It's a free transfer. I can sell him on for profit in the future, unless he develops nicely, in which we'll keep him in the first team. So, yeah. The next player was the backup goalkeeper / first team goalkeeper I've signed, Wojciech Szczesny from Arsenal for 2.8 mil. Yeah, 2.8 mil. And yeah, he's already shot up to 7.75 in value. Very good goalkeeper. The one downside is the eccentricity there, which is 16, and that is very high. So he might be prone to the error here and there. In preseason, he's played quite well. Conceded 3 goals in 4 games with 2 clean sheets and over 7 match rating. So not bad at all. As I mentioned, his playing history is quite decent. Played the first season at Roma, 31 games played, 26 goals conceded, 15 clean sheets, just under a 7 match rating, which is very high. Only played the one game the season after for Arsenal, 6.7 in that one game. And then last season he played 8 games, conceded 7, and got a 6.94 there. So he does have the potential to play good. He's 28 years old as well, so it's pretty much heading into the peak time for a goalkeeper in their careers. And hopefully he can keep some clean sheets for us, and hopefully we can press on. We then re-signed Victor Wanyama from PSG for 6 million. Yeah, what can I say about this? He was transfer listed for 6 million. Of course, we sold him 2 seasons ago for 27 million. I think that was actually a 29 million transfer fee as well. And yeah, we also had a 20% of next transfer clause on his transfer. So in the end, we only ended up paying 4.8 mil because we got 1.2 back from PSG. So very cheap to get him back, under 5 million really. And quite happy with that. We do have 3 ball-winning midfielders now, and all 3 of them are really quite decent, to be fair. We got Fellaini, Wanyama, and Romero. So we might have to look to ship one of them out because we are definitely going to have first-team problems when it comes to some of those players, or at least one of them. Cohen Myers was the next player we brought in for 9.25 mil from FC Utrecht. Very, very good central midfield prospect, 18 years old. Another Dutch player. We've got a bit of a Dutch fetish going on at the moment. They produce some amazing regens in this year's game. He's already valued at 12 million. He is classed as a wonder kid. And yeah, really looking forward to embedding him in the first team. He has ambitions to actually win the English Premier League, so hopefully he can do it with us. That would be quite nice. The next player was a bit of a weird transfer, actually. He was suggested to me by a scout, I believe, and at that time he had actually... yeah, Chelsea and Shakhtar Donetsk both had offers in to transfer him, and I couldn't actually see many of his stats. They were all very, blurred out, or, not blurred out, but hyperextended with different numbers. And yeah, he's 16 years old. He's a Czech regen, and as I mentioned, those 2 big clubs were going after him. I took a chance, put a 2.7 mil offer in, got accepted, and yeah, he decided to come to us over Chelsea and Shakhtar. And as you can see, he's not bad. He really isn't bad. At 16 years old, having these stats, I'm quite impressed, to be fair. And yeah, that wraps up the transfer activity there. I'll get into the preseason fixtures now. We did have a training camp that took place in the USA. So the first 3 games were against American opposition. Real Salt Lake was up first, a 3-0 victory. Kostic with the opening goal, and Iheanacho with a brace there. We then versed Orlando City, of course. I had a series with them. It was actually my last one on FM15. And yeah, as you can see, we beat them 3-1. Kostic again opening the scoring, Balic with a penalty, and Lopez in the 92nd minute. We then versed Fort Lauderdale Strikers, and yeah, it was a bit more of a tough game, to be fair. They put up a real fight, and yeah, they were actually beating us 2-0, so we did manage to get a nice little comeback here. Bernard, Kostic, and Iheanacho actually getting the winner in the 85th minute there. Quite impressive. We then had a tour of Portugal, which I thought was a little bit weird because we are quite big in Portugal for whatever reason. We first versed Aves, I think it's Aves or Aves, in our first game in Portugal. Iheanacho with a hat-trick there, Kostic on the score sheet as well, and Fellaini sent off with a red card. The next game against Arouca was a 0-0 draw. Not too much to really go over there. Played a few of the players that were lacking in match fitness, like Romero, Hurst, Yeah, don't really know why Van Dijk's up there, but anyway, um, Kazoa, Amaterio, all these players they're not really first team footballers at the moment because they are lacking a little bit in their towards their counterpart in their certain positions. So yeah, a nil-all draw. We then lost in the next game to Olhanense. I think it's Olhanense. As you can see, Amaterio scored an own goal. Iturbe got our only goal, but they had scored one already through Leonardo Mora. We then versed FC Barcelona, and as you can see, we managed to actually beat them. I could not believe my eyes when I saw this. We were away from home as well at the Camp Nou. And yeah, Neymar opened the scoring. Iheanacho got it back on level terms, and then Kostic in the 89th minute got us the win over Barcelona. Top quality result, to be fair. And in the final game, I kind of went with a bit of an easier fixture. We versed Shamrock Rovers, the Irish team, pumped them 4-0. Lopez with a brace there, and Fellaini with a brace as well. And I've got to show you, actually, we'll go into this game, I've got to show you Fellaini's first goal. Absolute quality this goal was. I don't think I've actually ever seen a goal, definitely not so far in this year's game, that is better than this. I was absolutely amazed, coming from this player as well. I mean, you'd expect it from like Messi or Ronaldo, Hazard, Sanchez even. Fellaini with the bicycle kick. What a shot. What a bicycle kick that was, man. That's crazy. Totally didn't expect that. But as you can see, if we go into the finances here, our profit loss so far is just under 40 million lost. The balance is still sitting really pretty though, just under 140 million. Still got 92 left in transfer budget and about 300,000 in wage budget. So, there's no drama there at all. Another thing I should mention, well, there's two things I should mention. First of all, we got a takeover just before preseason started, and yeah, it was a bit weird, to be fair. I think our values actually gone up as well. But yeah, I didn't expect it. The guy said that he was willing to put, I think it was 170 million into the club. But then when he took it over, he decided not to put any funds in. It was a little bit weird, and I'm not too sure what the go with that was actually. So yeah. But the other thing I need to mention, well, there's another two things I need to mention. The first one being here, we actually made Katembwe our vice captain. He is only 17 years old, but he looks like he'll be a world-class player. I had to fight off a lot of interest already. I think Man City, Real Madrid, and then there was like Marseille, Chelsea, just lots and lots of teams were, poking their head around him. He doesn't actually want to talk contracts at the moment because he's unhappy at the fact that I said, if I go into his information here, I promised that I would accept an offer from Man City as soon as they bid, which is not good, but they haven't bid, to be fair, so it's okay, so far so good. But he does have the minor issue of wanting to move to a bigger club. So I wanted to put him as vice-captain. He does actually have the stats to become a good vice-captain. 16 determination, 17 leadership, that's actually going up as well. And he will obviously be playing every game for me when he can, so yeah. Hopefully, once the transfer window shuts and the interest dies down, hopefully I'll be able to sign him to a new contract, because it does run out in, not the end of this season, but the end of next season. So I want to try and get him onto a 5-year deal as soon as possible. The other thing I wanted to mention was the stadium upgrade went through, and we now have a 48,500 all-seater stadium. So we got I think it was 16,000 was the expansion, 16,000 seats. So very good to see that. We've got a massive stadium now, and I'm quite curious to see if we can start, trying to sell that out. Because if we do, I think it told me the expansion potential is 56,000, and that's quite big. So we've still got another 8,000 still to go, potentially 7,500 seats we could potentially upgrade to. in St Mary's, and I think that is quite a decent size for a team of Southampton's stature. Okay, I have absolutely rambled on enough about this preseason so far. Let's get into the first game of the season, first EPL game against Aston Villa. We have gotten the run over Aston Villa in fairly recent times. In the first the first two seasons, they were quite decent, especially in the first season. And they've still got a danger player in Adama Traore, so we've got to be wary of him. But I think that lineup is correct. Yes, it is. Actually, I might put Kostic in. No, we'll leave it Turbo. Alright, so today's lineup will be Szczesny in goals, Chambers as the right centre-back, Van Dijk as the central, and Font as the left centre-back. Katembwe will be the left wing-back, Sakai the right wing-back. Fellaini and Balic will be our midfield or central midfielders today. Balic the deep line playmaker, Fellaini the ball winner. A Turbe on the right as an inside forward, Bernard on the left will get his debut as an inside forward as well. Iheanacho, as always, up front. I also had an offer in for him as well this preseason. I think it was I forget who it was. I think it was Monaco. I might go back and check later, but I'm pretty sure it was Monaco. The bench today will be Romero, Jones, Kazawa, Myers, Wanyama, Kostic, and Lopez. Lopez, I should mention him. He was quite decent in preseason when he played. Whoops. And his stats have gone up a little bit. He looks quite good. He's a wonder kid, as his media description as well. So, yeah, I'm not too sure. We've got a lot of decent players at the moment. I should probably show you my under 21s and under 18s, but this episode is probably going to be long enough as it is. The tactic familiarity. Sorry, I got a bit of something stuck in my throat, a bit of phlegm maybe. Not that you guys needed to know that, but yeah, it's accomplished. It's quite well up there. Hopefully we can try and get it up a bit more over the first few Premier League games we play. But anyway, let's advance here. Got to give a few players some numbers. Colin Myers, he wants number 8, but that's Liam McCourt's number, so we can take the 7. And we'll see who the favourites are going into this first game of the season. Hopefully it's us, but we are away from home, and we are not the favourite. Okay. And yeah, Roberto Mancini is actually Aston Villa manager at the moment, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. So they are playing Traore on the right wing today, Grealish on the left wing, Benteke up front, Mika Richards at right back. Their defence doesn't look too solid. Abyssalo is quite a good defensive midfielder, but their two central mids don't look good either. So hopefully we can cause some real damage today. But we do have a lot of new players in the first team. I'm going to tell the boys to give the fans something to cheer today as we go into this first game of the season. Hopefully we can start off nice and positive. Iheanacho, horrible time to end that first highlight there. Just as we play a ball into the back line. Katembwe. Fellaini back out to Katembwe. What can he do with it? Can he cross it? Whip it in, son. Go on. He does. And that's I wouldn't say it's a decent save, but yeah. Not a great cross by him either. We're 20 minutes in. No real highlight to speak of. Just that failed cross. And looks like Villa are actually dominating us at the moment, which is not good by any means, but come on. Come on, boys. We've got to do better than this. DeMarco with the throw. Abyssalo. Holberg. Good tackle by Virgil there. Traore out to Richards. Oh, what a save by Szczesny. Benteke could have easily scored a goal there. But what a save by Szczesny in his debut for the club. And that will be half-time, but Van Dijk has actually picked up an injury right there, but so is Christian Benteke, so I'm going to make the sub. We're going to get... See, this is a tough one. I'll bring Jones on, but I would much prefer to play Chambers as the ball-playing defender. But Chambers is playing really badly so far in this game, so I'm not too sure if that's a good idea. That's a bit disappointing though, because Van Dijk is a massive part of our defence. He is the link between basically our defence and the midfield and wing backs. So hopefully Jones can come in and do a decent job. Free kick to Aston Villa, and they go ahead. Oh, it's offside. It looks like it's offside. Yes, it is. Diafra Sakho is offside. The goal doesn't count. He was offside from the flick in off the free kick there. We are starting to edge out possession a little bit. I'm going to make a substitution here because, yeah, Bernard's just not playing well. We'll get Kostic on the left. He is actually natural there, but he probably a bit better suited to playing as a winger on the left, as I would prefer to play him as an inside forward. Villa with another free kick. They were deadly from the first time, but Szczesny claims that with ease, and that's very impressive to see on his debut. We've got 12 minutes of the game still to go here. Villa are playing a bit better than us at the moment, which is not great by any means. Oh, but that's a good tackle by Kostic there. Gatembe pumps it long. And yeah, Villa win the ball back. And they play it forward to Sakho, who is dangerous. He's got decent pace, that guy. Grealish, another very good player. Oh, and he tried to chip the keeper there, but it was off target. Okay, well, things aren't looking great at the moment. We're not setting the world alight. I'm not going to make a transfer here. Not a transfer, a substitution. Simply because it might just totally... Oh, no way. Callum Chambers picked up an injury as well. And we're just going to have to put Kazoa. Actually, undo that. We'll actually play Wanyama back there for the last 2 minutes. I prefer to play a defensive midfielder in centre-back than I would playing a left-back. Sorry, a wing-back as our centre-back. But that does look like it's going to be full-time. We do have the last highlight, but there we go. The ref blows his whistle. A 0-0 draw. Probably not what you guys were expecting to see. You know, my track record with live comms, at the moment, it's been quite good. Last season we picked up a few wins, one of them being over Manchester United on an episode, which was impressive. But I don't think so far in the series we've got a 0-0 draw on a live comm. So kept a clean sheet, I suppose, and it's decent. I hope you guys are enjoying the series so far. I'm going to end the episode here. Has been quite long. Hopefully you have seen my ambitions as far as transfers go. Of course, I am still trying to get Zivkovic in because I think having two world-class strikers, well, potential world-class strikers, they're not world-class yet, in Iheanacho and Zivkovic, you know, the competition between those two, if one's not scoring, I feel like the other one will be, so that would be a great transfer to get in. Would be steep price, you know, over 20 mil is no slouch by any means. But yeah, I think it would be a great addition to the team and might put us into the Europa League spots for this season, well, for next season really. But there we go, 0-0 draw, honours even at Villa Park. Thank you for watching, guys. Drop a like if you have enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.